Hey everyone, and welcome back. We are going to be talking about component properties. So what are component properties? You'll see I have a bunch of different assets here. I have icon components, I have variants, and I also, if you go into each individual component here, you'll notice that they do have their own set of properties. So if I take that out, these are properties, and this is the variant. So let's get into it. Component properties assign names and values to elements that can be customized in a component. So you may think, like, what does that mean? So think of things like instances that can be swapped, a text layer that can be updated, or an element's visibility that can be toggled on and off. That's where the real power comes in here. So what are the main benefits? So the main benefits of using component properties allow you to have the reduction in manually created variants. So in the past, you could have so many variants with different icons. Now you can just toggle those things off like this instead of making so many different versions. You have easier discovery of which parts of the component can be customized, closer alignment between design and code. So your developers are going to love you. Now, in terms of reducing variance, with component properties, it will be possible to significantly reduce the amount of variance needed, like I just mentioned. You won't need so many different versions of different states or different types. Anything that can really be toggled on and off or swapped with an instance is going to be managed just at this level over here when you make an instance. So, an example, you can use a Boolean property to eliminate the need to create multiple versions of that button with and without the icon, like I mentioned prior. In terms of alignment with code, component properties allow you to set up your components with the same attributes you'd have in code. So for example, you could have cut that part out with alignment with code. So what types of properties can be edited? Let's jump into that. If you have a text layer in your component that is intended to be customized, you can create a text property that will surface in the design panel. So let's get a component here, and let me just illustrate that. So here is my component, and if I have this text property right here, I can basically edit that, and it'll show up in my component. This allows you to create a text property with a named value, like code components often have. Example, like label equals, quotation, click me, and quotation. So you can update your text in the components panel over here without diving into all the sublayers. Sometimes it's hard to just click through all that. In terms of the Boolean component property, like we've seen with the button and toggling, this is what a Boolean property is. No more digging into the layers panel to swap an instance. You can do this all from the actual parent property in the design panel. And this will allow you to add customizable nested instances in your components. So you can set a default instance, and then you can actually go ahead and change it. So right now I've set the default instance to the plus button, and I can go in and, change that to something like, the date range, and then we can just customize, what color that is over here. If you have styles, let's get that. And if we click into that instance, we can basically just, make it white if we want to. So that's how you're going to have different instances, text properties, and Boolean properties. And that's why it's so cool and powerful.